Let me go to Rocky. Rocky, what's your ideal type in a woman?
Subjugated, mute, knows her role, non-engaging, non-challenging, and can still earn a few bucks. This clown over here talks about this woman.
Refrain from name calling, but yeah.
Okay. I'm saying what real men want. Subjugated, quiet, know your role, know your position. Don't talk to me unless I inquire. That's pretty much it.
If you want your woman to be that way, what way are you going to be, Rocky? How are you going to, because you do want a woman, right? So how are you going to serve her?
Okay, but how don't you get what I just said? What is your name?
Pointer, yeah.
You don't get what I said. I said subjugator. So if somebody's subjugated, someone has to do the subjugating.
So you're going to be the one doing the talking.
Absolutely. If I need someone to shut up, then my role is to talk. I don't know how you don't get that. But if you get this show on again, maybe you should do a little pre-screening about women who know their role of what a woman is.
Now, ladies, I know I already talked about this big-backed, busted, bloated, bankrupt bedbug, but here we go again. Now, I saw that clip and I was like, this man cannot be serious. You can't be a 54-year-old old buzzard with a 9 months pregnant belly and looking way past your prime with empty pockets, no job, no house, speaking like this. I was like, this can't be real. So I went to the content creator's page and saw this on TikTok. He has to be an actor. This is insane. And then the content creator responds and says, unfortunately, he is not. And to be honest, at first, I thought that this was the finest of rage bait. But then when I watched this man's facial expressions and his tone with which he was saying the things that he was saying, how he was speaking even to other men, I was like, he can't be that good an actor. And honestly, if watching a man like this doesn't make the Black community want to ban all red pill content, I don't know what else will. If this is not a wake-up call to all Black men to check any of the men that they know or check themselves, I don't know what to say, because you have washed up broke bums who are out of shape, mean, and ugly. Pick a struggle, please. And these men really are so delulu that they truly believe that they are going to find some beautiful woman that is going to be willing to put up with being treated like trash. What exactly is the benefit of a woman of any age choosing to be with a man that wants them to shut up and never speak unless they are given permission to speak? What exactly is the benefit to a woman of any age to have an overweight, over the hill bum with high cholesterol and visceral fat covering all of his internal organs in her life? He would be a burden and only a burden. And this is what I'm saying. There are so many lies that men are telling other men. You're telling other men, men are telling men, hey, a man's presence has value no matter what. No, you don't have to contribute anything positive to a woman's life, but it's still a positive thing for you to be there. You know what? I can fill her life with chaos and either dim or extinguish her lights, but yet it's still a flex for her to have me around. What? It is not a flex. And I want you to understand, look at who's telling you this. The only people telling men this are other men. You will never, ever, ever in your life hear a woman say that having a man like this is a benefit, or they would be happy for him to be there. Well, maybe possibly if she's a pick-me with no self-worth at all, but any emotionally, mentally healthy woman that is independent, can provide for herself, she would never, ever, ever agree with this type of ideology. And, this is another thing that I often think about. This man is 54 years old, never been married, has no money, has no job, has no home, has no education, 9 kids by 9 different women that he has no relationship with, and is still filled with entitlement, still filled with a sense of he's the prize and he's somebody, and he has created nothing. And this is what I say about the Black community. And also Black women are to blame for this, for making Black men feel comfortable doing nothing at all, giving them a participation prize just for showing up, making them feel like, oh, you're doing the best you can, king. You can pay that water bill. You can pay that light bill and do nothing else. You're still so great. That is the reason how men like him grow up to be 54 years old and be completely delusional. Completely delusional. Honestly, this man, he's created nothing, built nothing, has no societal or economic power, and brings nothing to the table except audacity. And he feels as though he should be able to lay up in a woman's house that has something going on for herself and then can tell her what to do. Then tell her what she can and cannot do and control her like he's her daddy. And, it's crazy because this man said that he wants to subjugate a woman that he is involved with. I want to give y'all the definition of subjugate. Okay? It means bring under domination or control, especially by conquest. Now, let me also give y'all what it means to subjugate someone. To subjugate someone means to bring them under complete control or subjection, often by force, to make them subservient, which means to obey someone without question. Now, it also says that it can also mean to make someone's wishes or beliefs less important than something else. Now, you can pause to read the rest of this, but it also means intimidation, no free will, etc., etc., etc. And I've always thought about this. It's like, why do Black men want to subjugate or dominate Black women so badly? Why? Are Black women responsible for your position in society? No, I think we know who is. But you sit there and you talk about how you're the strongest man on the planet. You're the most desirable man on the planet. But yet, of course, you're the most attacked and you're the most discriminated against, and you have it so hard as a Black man because everybody wants to see you fail. Well, if that's the case, then why don't you or why aren't you attempting to dominate your oppressor? The one who is responsible for your oppression and systemic racism. And it's crazy because these men talk real big when it comes to attempting to dominate, control, or coerce a woman. But crickets, when you ask them when they are going to fight for their own rights or the rights of the people in their community, women and children, when will they do that? You get what I'm saying? Why are you not fighting against the people that really are holding you back? And my thing is this, we can all say what we want about a certain demographic of people, if you get what I'm saying, the unseasoned, but when they get irritated or they feel like enough is enough, they do something. Whether they're wrong or right, they do something. They don't just get online and bump their gums. They get active. And my thing about that is that this insane ideology that, a large collective of Black men have, that they're going to be able to beat Black women down to where Black women have no voice and just brainlessly do whatever they tell them to do, it's never going to happen. Even when Black women were enslaved with not a single solitary right, Black women found some type of way to stand up against their oppressors. Period. But I'm going to show y'all a clip of what Black men were saying Black women were doing before I was even born.
I remember time as a kid, my dad would hide in the back of the house when a bill collector come knock on the door. My mom would have to go to the door and face him. You know, she'd tell him a lie or curse him out, whatever it took to get him away from the house. My dad would hide in the back. He was afraid. And this went on years past their time. Black women had to always be the man, so to speak, when it comes to confrontation with white people. You know, the male, the black man was always kind of afraid to face the man. And the woman had to face him.
But I could have sworn that so-called modern times is the reason why black women are independent and handle all of these things in the black community. No. As you can see, it's because historically, black women have had no choice. They have had no choice but to take on the more dominating role because black men were too afraid. The collective of black men were too afraid to do it. So black women said, you know what? I have to. And, this love for the black community and this sacrificing for the black community that black women have done so often, and pushing, I guess I would say pushing back against the man, it's always been present in black women, historically, always. And, this deep love that black women have for the black community saying, hey, we got to make sure that we push forward our lineage. We have to make sure that we make more of us. We have to make sure that the black community survives. All of those things that black women have inside of them, it's the reason why black men have been able to exploit black women for so long. And the reason why black women have refused to date out, because they wanted to preserve the community above all else. So black women were lowering their standards, engaging with men that were no good because they were like, hey, I'm not going to go outside of my community for anything. And I really want it to be clear here. This is not my opinion. This is historical fact that black women have always been the strength and the backbone of the black community. That's why you have so many older people and this is before I was even born. You got people like James Earl Jones. Yeah, black women, they're the ones that are militant. They're militant. They always want to fight against the white T-man and they want to try to make the black community do something. But I'm not here to do that. I just want to soft shoe and tap dance and lay up with the snow bunnies. I have no idea why they're trying to do something for the black community. I only care about myself. Or somebody like Harry Belafonte telling a black woman, hey, it ain't nothing you can do for me. I ain't trying to pour into you, black woman. Yeah, I can come over there and hit it when I feel like it, but I'm going to marry me this white T woman. And by that, then still be looked at in the black community as some type of activist, which is actually disgusting. But that's a whole nother topic for discussion. You get what I'm saying? Black men have always put their own interests and their love and fetishization of the white T woman above the community. And black women have never done that. And for me, like I said, these are historical facts. You can get mad at me and you can say, oh, I'm not that type of black man. I'm not that type of black man. Cool, you might not be that type of black man. But we're talking about collectively and historically. That's what has occurred, period. Argue with your mama. It's been happening with the generation of my dad, the generation of my dad's dad, the generation of my dad's dad's dad. Is clearly there for you to look at it. You can look at I can't even tell you how many documentaries that I've watched with my mouth wide open. Like, wow, this is crazy. These Negroes been on some BS. They been on demon time. They been telling a black woman that they were inadequate and the white T woman was better. Even during the times that you supposedly said the black community was doing so well because black women were so submissive back then. Like, what? And to be honest with you, I really think a lot of it is projection. A lot of the things that black men put on to black women is projection. And I don't know if it's that they are deep down inside that there's some type of subconscious embarrassment, that they have because they are aware of their inadequacy, which is why they, like I said, project all of these things onto us. I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure exactly why it's happening, but it's definitely happening. And, I want to say this as well. this idea that black men have right now, that they're going to be able to go to other races of women and subjugate them and dominate them and control them and abuse them. It's not going to be able to happen on a wide scale, period. Number one, they don't like you. They don't desire you. The majority of women of other races do not want you. That's number one. But number two, their men will never allow you to do it. They will see you 6 feet under before you think that you're going to go into their communities and do those things to their women. That's just what it is, because other races of men, unfortunately, do protect their women from outside invaders or attackers or whatever. It's just black women, we're the only ones that have a collective of men in our community that do not and will not be protectors or stand up or do anything. Completely buck broken, weak, inadequate men. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And everyone knows that too. That's why you will notice that men of other races, they real quick to get in a black woman's face. Say something crazy, talk real crazy. They don't even feel like somebody gonna check them. You know, now there's been occasional times when somebody has checked them, but most of the time they already know nobody's going to do anything or say anything. So I really want y'all to know that if you think that the way y'all do things is the way others do things, you're lying to yourself. Now, you may find a few women, you know, that may fetishize you, you know, and they may allow you to so-called control or dominate them for a time or two, you know, due to their intrinsic fear of the black man and what violence they truly believe that he's capable of perpetrating. You know what I'm saying? But those women will eventually get tired of you and leave. And the smart ones will cash in on their privilege to destroy you and take whatever assets you have, if you have any, as they are on the way out of the door. Or, you know, if you don't have nothing, they'll get you put in prison or whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Put you on child support. You'll pay one way or another. And it's crazy because I never hear black men, you know, the black men that tell me that, oh, I'm not like that. I never hear y'all challenge each other on that. I never hear y'all say to other black men, hey, brother, why do you feel most powerful if you are degrading a black woman? Why is it that the only way that you can stand tall is by standing on the bodies of black women? Why do we hear submission, 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 subjugation, 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 domination, 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 but never love, 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 uplifting, 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 pouring into the black woman? You know what I'm saying? Why don't we talk about these things? Why is it that anytime the black woman is spoken of, it's never in a positive way. It's never in a loving way. And if there is a small portion of black men that speak about loving or protecting or defending or uplifting black women, he is then turned on and called a simp and a punk and degraded in front of the world by other black men. Answer that for me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I really want to say this is that I wish black men would also, the collective of black men would understand this, is that the way you treat black women is being watched by everyone. And it really makes you look like scum. And I understand that you may feel like because there's nobody out there just making videos about it and speaking about it all day, and nobody's going to do that because nobody cares about black women. But if a black woman gets into it with anybody, that's the first thing that they say. Oh, y'all black men don't protect y'all. They don't care about y'all. This, that, and the third. They all see it. They all see it. They know that it's there. I have no idea how a group of men, the collective of black men, is not humiliated at the world knowing that they are the weakest links ever. That they don't protect their grandmas, their aunties, nothing. They just on there talking about them, abusing them. It just doesn't make any sense. And I really want y'all to know that even though people, like I said, don't talk about it, the way you treat black women, what you put forth to the world, your representation of who you are as men, and the way you treat the women whose wombs you come from, that is one of the reasons why you will never be respected. But, I digress. If you watched this whole video and you enjoyed it, please do me a favor and drop a, I don't know at this point, because it could be, I'll just say drop a 000 down below, because I don't know. I just feel drained. How about that? It's 000 because I feel drained even talking about this, truthfully. And if you can't donate to my Cash App above to help support the channel, that's no problem at all. Just do your girl a free favor. Follow me on TikTok. I do live stream there exclusively. Follow me on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my new uploads. And subscribe. And, I know that this is pretty much a very, hot topic. Or I don't want to say hot topic. I'd say it's a very controversial topic. So, let me know what you think about this. Like, have you seen this? Have you seen any of these like documentaries and things like that that expose the broken nature of Black men that's always been there? That is really basically Black women have been lied to and gaslit, that somehow they're the problem, or somehow Black men weren't behaving this way back in the day when they were. Even when they supposedly were getting everything that they supposedly wanted out of Black women, they were still acting disloyal. They were still romanticizing other races of women. They were still acting like tap dancing Uncle Ruckuses. But y'all just let me know if y'all heard or seen that. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't want to rant again. Please drop your thoughts, comments, and feelings down below.